Welcome back for another episode of Keep It G Podcast. This is episode 23 or 24. I don't know. I get lost in these motherfuckers sometimes, right? And got me a co-host today, man. We're gonna get into some topics, man. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a good one. Introduce yourself to the people.
What's up, y'all? I'm Christina. I am a mental health advocate, life coach, and spiritual advisor. I'm here to spit the real. So let's get to it.
Hey, man. So we're gonna start off with the lighthearted shit, right? Getting flown out. You know, that was a big thing all over social media. It was two videos going around. Everybody was playing. In the first video, you got the guy was taking the girl to the hotel. You feel me? Kicked her out. She wasn't trying to give him no ass. You feel me? That was the first video. Then on the second one, you got the dude talking about, man, I done gave you like $5,000. I done flew you here. I was a gentleman the night before. Yeah, man, he was going crazy, man. So look, as a woman, right? How do you feel about that situation, man? No.
You know, I knew about the one of them, but not the other. Actually, you sent me both, but I was like, oh, okay, this sounds familiar. So I really didn't pay too much attention to it, but that other one got me. Yeah. All right. Well, that only happens to unseasoned females. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Because I ain't never been flued out, because I know we're going to ask that question now. I ain't been flued out because I don't let stuff like that happen. If I want to go somewhere, I'm flying myself out. Because you got to understand, as females, I mean, there's levels to this. There's prerequisites. There are prerequisites. There had to have been things that y'all talked about in advance that made you know what was up before it was up. So let's get that understood.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. And that's really how I view that shit. Like, yo, like if you seen that video I said, man, you might gotta sign some type of contract or something. Like, we need this down on paper.
That's what I was just about to say. I deal with people for some years now. I've dealt with a couple of people in the industry. I have some close friends that are in the industry. Some people that are family. And my whole thing about it is there are contracts, there are agreements that you have to these things. So if you're dealing with a man that does not have a contractual agreement with you, that's already a flag right there, because he don't know what he's doing, or he's all over the place. One of the two. And most of the time, people like that, they don't get tested, and they don't require the women to be tested. You know, something just as simple as that. That's just one example. But typically, when you're dealing with, you know, people that, you know, you flying women out, or they in the game like that, there's some contractual agreement. And whether it's you're, you know, signing something, you know, an email, whether there's a verbal agreement, whether it's, you know, a text agreement, I don't care what it is. There had to have been some sort of prerequisites before y'all got to that point. There's no way I'm flying out to see somebody we haven't talked about that. Like, there's no way. It's just not happening. But, you know, everybody's built different, but no, there's no way.
And that's the thing, like, you know, flying a woman out, that's really some big boy shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I agree with you when it comes out of that. Like, a lot of these dudes is really jumping into a lane just because they got the money. They jumping into a lane that they really don't know nothing about. Yeah, man.
And I would say, matter of fact, you're right. Not just unseasoned females, that's unseasoned men as well. Ain't no way. That means you ain't been in the game long enough for you don't know what you're doing. Because ain't no way a man is going to spend that type of money on a female, $5,000, and y'all ain't even had a conversation. There's no way. It should have been established. And not only that, but think about it this way. Turn the tables, because, you know, that's what I do. I like to look at things from all angles. Now, say, for example, the man flew out to see the female. Okay? That's like, okay, I'm flying out to see you. So, as a seasoned female, I've been around the game before. My first thought is like, okay, well, just so if I don't have no intention on having sex with him and I want it to be an equal thing, I'll be like, okay, well, you flew out to see me, so I'll get the hotel. An unseasoned female She ain't gonna get that hotel. He gonna buy his ticket, get the hotel, and expect some sex. I done flew out here to see you. I better be getting something. You know what I mean? But if it was something on like a mutual, oh, we cool, we just feeling the vibes out type of agreement, y'all better split that like y'all roommates, half and half. That's like, you know, the man says,
straight up.
I'm finna look, check this one though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, I'm down here to see you. Let's go eat something. Okay, cool. I came to see you. Why you ain't paying for my meal? Say if a man did that. I came to see you. That's like at the end of the day, you know, she's expecting him to pay for the meal. You expect me to pay for the meal and I flew myself out here? Come on now. That wouldn't make sense. You know, think about it. Think about it. That's for example. Like a man saying that, like, oh, I flew out here to see you and you want me to pay for our meal too? And you want me to pay for the hotel too? And you still ain't giving me no sex?
Yeah, that's rough, man. So look, right? Look, let me ask you this. At what point? Because like I find that shit hard to believe. I mean, don't get hold on. Let me say this first.
There's no way.
Nowadays, that's like a hustle. A lot of women they saying the world this way.
Oh yeah.
You feel me? But the question I was ready to ask you was, at what point in the conversation do it get all right? Because what I think once the woman get there, she recognizes the dude the lane. You know?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times they be with it. You know, they send the money, they have a good conversation. I think they be with it. But I think once they reach the destination and they see the dude in person, I think they just be like, nah, I don't know. I'm not fucking with him.
That's another thing I was going to say. Like I said, I'm looking at every angle. So the case could have been like, oh, because sometimes men do look good on that camera, just like women. Look good on camera. You see him in person, you're like, oh, no. Baby, no,
yeah, catfish type shit.
Yeah, he done sent her some pictures from 2 years ago that his body looked one way, and you get there in person, you're like, no, I can't get with that. Or
I never looked at that angle. I never looked at that angle. You're right.
Think about it. Or there's, and I'm not trying to be funny, just like women can take certain angles of their butts, their chest. There's angles that men can take as well with their lower parts. They can take dick pics and put it at certain angles and make it look bigger than what it is. So it could have been one of them situations too. Your package ain't packaging. Like, this ain't what I signed up for. So we don't really know the backstory of it. We don't know the backstory of it. It could have been that. It could have been, okay, we really did. We had the agreement that, we were just going to peep each other's vibe. It could have been anything. But because he might have been used to dealing with other type of women, he thought he had it in the bag. Because my whole thing about it is, when you're confident and you got it in the bag already, you don't got to do all that. You don't you're like, I got this. Like, you already know it's overstood that you finna get that.
Yeah, once she get there, you already know what time it is. We've been. I agree with that.
Yeah, like for real though, baby girl should have known. Like, she should have been confident enough to know, shoot, I'm getting flued out, so my back can get blued out. Like, she should have been able to know. And the fact that she got there and it was a little sketchy because he was like, you've been walking around with with your panties on and stuff like that. Whoop-de-whoop. Okay, either she was preparing herself to be able to get to that point with him at the point of the trip, or she wasn't even she was probably might even been trying to peep what he was on. They might not have had that conversation at all. So she was trying to see what type of time he was on. So it could have been either or. She could have been like, oh man, I want to do this. But because when women flew out to trips like that, you got to think there's a whole prep that they do. They go get if they about that, they gonna get their wax done. They gonna make sure they ain't on their cycle. They gonna go do whatever. I mean, put the yoni pearls in, whatever they got to do. Women gonna prepare. So if she did not prepare, she knew she wasn't finna do that. And she should have made it overstood. She should have been like, you know what, just so you know, we ain't on that this weekend. Like, I really just want to fill you out and spend some time with you. And if it gets there, it gets there. Be real. Be 100 with it. But don't sit up there and sell this man a dream.
So how you feel about the women that do that shit for sport? Because some women, they take them trips and take that money knowing they not fucking this dude at all. They just want the trip.
It's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous game. And for them women, all I can tell you is, baby girl, get your paper up, because ain't no way you need to be relying on no man to take no trip. That's why I don't get flued out. If I want to go somewhere, I'm going, whether it's by myself, with my girls, and I done been plenty places. I don't need to get flued out. So that's a whole security thing as a woman. Get your money up, get your mind right, because there are men out here that want to fly you out. There are even men out here that aren't looking for things like that. They might just want to fly you out, be a partner, whatever. You know, there are some men that are like that. If you want something like that, get you an older man. If that's the game you playing, get you an older man so you know you can move faster in case he act up.
Little sugar daddy or something.
Yeah, because there are girls that I've met that they don't got no standards when it comes to that, because it's what they do. This is what I do. So I don't care what you look like. I don't care how old you are. This is what I do. I know, you know, I know who to give sex to. I know who not to give sex to. And they cool with it. But those are seasoned females. They've been doing this. You know?
And you be around this.
They know how it goes.
And you be around this because you in the industry for the most part. So you see.
Yeah.
How often do you see situations where a female get flown out when Sharon you fucking with the dude, or heard of them?
This is like this. Look, this could happen every single time a man has a show out of state in a different city. This could happen every single time. Depends who you're dealing with. You know, it depends on their status. Because some of these females is willing to be flown out for somebody that's just getting fresh in the game. It's like, okay, well, I see he's doing a little something. Let me get flown out and, you know, establish myself or get to know who I am. Some people are okay with that. Some females, they're that consistent female for the person. So they know what getting flown out consists of. You know what I mean? It's like I go, every time you got a show in Texas, you flying me out because I'm your Texas chick. You know, some females are aware of that. So they know what comes with it. But like I said, that's talking to, you know, a female that's been in the game versus a female that hasn't. You know, I would say to the females that are new to this type of stuff, understand what comes with who you dealing with. Understand them. Have some self-awareness. You have to have awareness in general of the entire circumstance, because the thing is, if you can be a smart, you know, down to earth, real female, and some of them don't care about that. Some of them are like, you know, nah, I'm just looking, you know, you look good. I'm just looking for sex. So you got to be aware of what you're getting yourself into. And if you know you ain't about that life, you shouldn't even be in the game anyways. Like, sit still, because you're not gonna like it regardless. You're not gonna like the fact that he sleep with other people, or, you know, all this other stuff that comes in between. You're not gonna like that. So why even put yourself in that predicament? Like that girl that he videotaped her and he was like, you know, I'm taking you back to the airport. She would not last regardless. Even if she was one of his, you know, old, you know, side chicks or whatever, she wouldn't make it. There's no way. The way her emotions were and you know, the way she was responsive of it, it's like, you got to know there's a possibility that something like that can happen. Always be prepared. Always have extra money on deck. Don't, you know, one of some advice that I would like to give, make sure if they book your ticket, put your Rapid Rewards number in, or whatever, you know, whatever rewards it is, put your number in, so then it will come to your account. He can't cancel nothing. It comes to your stuff.
Because a motherfucker can leave
have
you.
them cash after you and you pay for your own stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that part. Nigga can get you all the way out that bitch and just say, look, I'm not giving you nothing. I don't know how you getting back home.
Exactly. So you gotta, if you're gonna be in the game, you gotta know the game. So a couple things, you know, get that cash app and you buy your own ticket and make sure it's understood. You know, I got my ticket. Like, well, you're not buying it, but they're buying it for you. But you do the actual actions yourself, because to buy somebody's ticket, you gotta have their birthday, their full name. This man got all your info. What you got? You probably ain't got nothing of his. You probably only know his real name. You only know his whatever he does for
whatever he told you.
You might only know his rap name. He got all your info, girl.
Yeah. So you basically saying there's rules to this shit.
Oh yeah, there's rules, there's levels, there's understandings. Like, but that's just common sense too. At the same time, think about it. Like, you don't got to be in the game to know this stuff. A lot of this stuff is common sense. Like, oh, I'm going to rely on somebody else to buy my ticket to go out there and be in their territory. I'm going to be in your territory. I don't know nobody. I ain't got no connections out here. I got to rely everything on you. No, especially not for no first time. You wildin'.
So what you think is a safe time period? Like, all right, say she meet the dude. Okay. They've been talking for a couple of weeks, couple months. Like, how long do you think it's time to be like, all right, I can go meet him now? A week, 2 weeks, a month? Like, if you can get that advice from being around the game, what would you say?
A reasonable time to really get to know not you can know how a person is, but you will never know who a person is until you're around them and theirs, okay? But that persona that they put on of how they are, typically you can catch some flaws within like a 3 month time span. You'll catch some flaws, you'll see some inconsistencies or whatever needs to be seen, you know what I mean? And if you can't last talking to a person for 3 months, you're not gonna last in general. Like that's not what it is. It's not what you want it to be. Because some women, they might, they jump in 3 weeks in, give them that thing, and then that's it. Oh, I thought this was no. You'll understand what it is if you stick around a little longer before you do that. Then you won't waste your time. You won't waste your time. I tell guys all the time, I do it as a test. It don't matter what I decide to do. I do it as a test. I'll tell them if I meet a guy and he's interested in me, I'll tell him just to see where his head is at. I'll be like, you know what? I really like you. You really like me. I know what you want. It is what it is. And I'll tell him, I'll be like, either we can do this right now, tonight, or you can stick around a little bit and possibly have me every night. You wait a little month or whatever, however long, and you might have me every night that you want.
Right.
And I do that not to give them that then and there, but I want to see where their head's at. So if they're like,
man,
I mean, they be like,
that's
man, get out of here.
Hey, man, that's a dirty goddamn trick, man. Hey, man, you can't be doing that to people, man.
But sometimes, and it be funny though, because some, like the guy that I deal with now, like saying something like that to him, like making that choice, like, hey, are we gonna be this or are we gonna be that? Like him making the choices to be like, you know what, I really dig your vibe. You're a good person. And I don't even want it tonight. I don't even want it like that. Like I care more about us having a long-term friendship. I'm like, oh, my antennas went up. Like, well, you can get it tonight and later.
Yeah.
So you never know. But for real though, sometimes it's good to have that conversation with people and put that out there. If you don't understand what's going on, like as a woman, don't make an assumption. If you don't understand what's going on, put that out there so you can see what's going on. Is this what y'all want?
Is the phone glitching? Is the phone glitching on your end? It's like, is it? Because on my end, it's like,
is it?
Yeah.
Ugh. It's going every here and there. I see it, but am I good right now?
No.
Am I good right now? Okay, hold on. You can. In the meantime, you go ahead and talk. I'm gonna turn my video off real quick.
All right. Yeah. See, this the thing, right? I was real critical of the dudes, man, because I think them type of niggas be fucking the game up, man. For the niggas that's doing it, that's playing the game how the game supposed to be played. Like even when I was ripping around the streets, I never liked the dudes who did shit like make every female his girlfriend, but then try to play the role like they doing what I'm doing. Like, nah, yo, we ain't the same. Like these chicks I'm dealing with, they know exactly what it is. I'm not breaking no hearts. Ain't nobody busting out of my windows, flattening my tires. We ain't on the same playing field. And I think these are the same dudes that's getting caught up with paying for these girls and they not fucking them are the same dudes that was doing that shit back in high school, where every female was their girlfriend in their mind, but they knew they just was playing the field.
Yeah.
I think these are the same dudes.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Like when a lot of people, how they were in high school, sometimes or oftentimes it reflects on who they become as adults. They say, about maturity and all of that stuff. Maturity is one thing, but like I was just talking about a few minutes ago, who you are and how you are, if a certain way is who you are, you might tweak it a little bit. That's still going to be who you are. So, for example, if you're a grimy person back in school, you were, oh, wait, it's glitching. I saw it. Back in school, you were fake or you were the type that, always starting drama. Okay. Now, as an adult, you always in the middle of something. You can't stay in a single relationship. You always jump around relationships because people see your fakeness or people you don't got good bonds with friends and stuff. It's still you still the same person. You just you're just the grown up version. So
yeah, the mature version of them.
Yeah.
But look, showed up. But look, man, you made a lot of interesting points, man, and I definitely do agree with you. Females that's doing that shit just for monetary gain and trying to see the world, and they got no intentions on dealing with these dudes, that shit is fucking dangerous.
That's a dangerous game, mama. Whoever it is, whoever gonna see this that it might matter to, that's a dangerous game. You gotta know what you're doing, know what you're getting yourself into, because that's you playing with people's emotions. You're playing with people's
money.
Their, in a sense, not even just money. You're playing with his manhood in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, you're playing with his manhood. And there are some men, some women be flying men out too. Some women are like that. Some women don't mind. They'll fly him out or whatever. And, some women get played, some women get used, but they know what comes with that. Like, I've seen plenty of women that they got money like that, and they're like, whatever. If you don't talk to me no more, it is what it is. Like, I know what it is. I knew what I was getting myself into, and they be cool with that, But know what you're doing. That awareness is big. Like, move with a purpose. That's what I always like to tell people, no matter what it is. Move with a purpose. What's your purpose behind this? And then ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth this risk that I'm taking? Because sometimes you can build an honest bond with people, and that's more important than trying to build that temporary bond playing games. Why play games when you could have built an honest bond with this person? Yeah, you could have built an honest bond, and long term, look, you done gained way more monetarily because you was honest and true to who you said you was going to be or how you said you was going to be. So people lack that realness these days. That's the problem. Too busy trying to fake and play a game. Don't need to fake and play a game. Just be real. If you have sex on the first night, baby girl, then that's your prerogative. Okay, cool. If you get flued out and have sex and whatever else, that's your prerogative. That ain't nobody's business but yours at the end of the day. So it don't even matter.
Yeah.
She might have had a man or something. She might have had something going on. I don't know. I don't know why she wouldn't have done it if she been talking to this man. Because there's no way that somebody's going to just randomly get this assumption that they're getting sex, or even fly a woman out without even, y'all are men. Unless he's slow or something.
Some of them females, they make that shit sound real convincing. Yeah, man. Because they not. That's one thing I can say about, like, nowadays. Females are playing the game to the T. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
It ain't like back in the day. You feel me? Like, no, they playing just like how the niggas is playing. That's why the relationship game so fucked up. But I saluted them women, man. Social media is a bitch. But like I said, I saluted them because, like, how I feel. Look, if you got lemons, make lemonade. You feel me? Like, hey, if they gonna allow you to, if they gonna allow you to just drain them and not get nothing out of it, shit, fuck it. Drain his ass. You feel me? But at the same time, it's still dangerous.
That's what you want to do. Yeah. It is what it is. I mean, but if you're doing stuff like that, you better off doing OnlyFans or something, if you want to be safe, per se. But each woman, they have their purpose behind stuff. Some of these women, they just got in the game and they ain't never been to certain places. And, going to Bahamas, I can bring, and then there's also sometimes those men that be like, hey, well, you can bring a friend with you if you feel uncomfortable. I've seen that a lot, especially with them Africans and them Nigerians and stuff. You can bring a friend with you. Yeah, you can bring a friend with you. I mean, that's cool, whatever. But once again, be aware of what you're getting yourself into. What's gonna come with that? What comes with that? Like, I don't knock nobody. If that's how you getting it, get it. But know what you're doing. Know what you're doing. And the biggest part I like to tell people about, and this is with any bond or relationship you're going to have with anybody, analyze that person. Say, for example, if you talk to this person all the time and they cheap, but they breaking money off to you, something going to come with that. He complaining about needing to get a new phone case or a new phone or complaining about a bill or something like that, but he's sending you money like it's nothing. Something finna come with that. Like,
something come with everything. Ain't nothing free out this bitch. That's the worst. That's the worst thing you can never think. Is you living in a world where shit free.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing free. But like I said, I think in closing, if you can generalize those type of situations, man, like you done already gave out you dropped some jewels as a woman that's been around it. You feel me? But in closing, just sum it all up. What would you say?
Okay, word to the women. Be careful. Know what you're doing. And any relationship you build with anybody in life, analyze them first. Don't ever just jump right on in. Because, sugar and salt look just the same. So, if you're going to do this type of lifestyle, live this type of lifestyle, know what you're getting yourself into, be safe, in every way, be safe and be prepared. Because somebody, you could talk to somebody for a year and they'll turn on you just like that, just because you don't give them what they want. So be prepared. And that could be anybody, celebrity, a close friend, whoever. And then for the men, y'all are splurging money on these women without keeping it 100 with them. And that can be a major problem as well. So don't go off, on the deep end or whatever, because, you surprise a woman backs out of a deal, or, you didn't spend all this money and she go ghost on you. Because I've seen some men send, they send some women $1,000. She's like, oh, send me the money for the flight. And then after she get the money and block them. Y'all got to be aware just the same. Never put nothing out there that you ain't willing to lose. And that is included with your safety as well, because some of y'all don't think about the fact of, okay, you flying this person out here. That contractual agreement is important. Yeah, that paperwork is important, for real.
I agree.
Because you can fly somebody out there and, they can give you head and you don't call the STD from them giving you head. But you like, well, I didn't, people don't, sometimes men ain't aware, sometimes they lack that awareness. So just that contractual agreement is important in every way, sexually, monetarily, and sometimes emotionally. So just make sure everybody's on the same page. It's all fun. I promise y'all, we grown, it's all fun and games. Everybody can have fun. You can have sex with who you want, do what you want, with who you want, whenever you want to. But just understand, every choice that you make, you got to take what come with it.
That's a fact. And I'm glad. And what I would say to the men, man, is, like I said, these are the same dudes back in school that had 15 girlfriends and was wondering why why their tires getting flat. Why, yo, she done bust my windows. I don't even fuck with her like that. Like, yo, you done slept, you spent the night 5 days in a row, bro. Like, what the fuck you mean? You feel me? Like I said, man. I mean, if you got the money and you know what you're doing, do it. But keep it 100. You feel me? Stop the games, because the game's you're gonna be a loser in the end, and shit can go left, and don't nobody need to get hurt behind this shit. You feel me? So my thing is to the fellas, if you're gonna do it, do the shit right, flat out.
Yep.
Now, so let me. I'm gonna throw a name out there to you, man. How you feel about this? The fucking I forgot the girl name. The crash, man. The crash, California, man. What was the girl name again? God damn it.
I forgot her name, but she's from Houston. And, I stay out here in Texas. So that was a heartbreaker. That was kind of a sad thing because,
NICOLE. NICOLE.
There she go. Yep. She's from Houston, and that happened to her out in LA. So I don't know if you saw, but her friend has said that the reason it happened because the girl was driving drunk. Her and her boyfriend got into an argument or whatever the case was, a disagreement, and she was upset with her boyfriend. So she's driving upset, unaware of her surroundings, and that was the result. That's what the girl, her friend, interviewed and stated.
But
who knows? That's an allegation.
Yeah, listen, when she went, I think it is allegation, because when she went to court, they said she had no alcohol in the system.
No alcohol in her system.
But listen, there's another thing that came out today. They also said that this woman has 13. She done had 13 run-ins, like mental, in the mental institution.
Oh no.
13. Mega traffic tickets. Like, it was so bad that people was wondering, how was she driving? How did she get a chance to be a nurse?
Yeah.
So when you factor that, because at first, everybody just saying she was driving drunk, and the accident looks terrible. Oh my God, like terrible.
Did you see where the baby flew across into the in front of the lady at the gas station? The baby's body landed. The baby's body landed right in front of the lady while she was pumping her gas.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Car seat was in the middle of the road. Yeah. And the lady was like, when they interviewed her, she was like, I was just shocked. And the attendant at the gas station came running out, got to pick the baby up or whatever, but the baby was already dead.
Damn.
Which might have meant that the baby died already upon the first impact, and then another car came and,
I don't think, like, that first car she hit, I don't think their death was painful at all. She came so fast, the car split in half.
Yeah,
you feel me?
I think that's the family. That's the family.
Yeah.
Because it said that 6 teens were injured, and then one was in was a major injury, but the other ones were minor. So I think the first impact was the family that died, because the dad was separated from them. That's what it said. Something about the dad was separated, and they knew already, that there's no way anybody would survive that. So I think they were the first impacts. That's so sad. I hate even having to talk about it, but these are things that have to be discussed. They have to be discussed, because you just never know. Just in a blink of an eye, you're on the way to your appointment for your new child. That baby was only 11 months, so she had just got she just finished having one baby, and this might have been a big deal for them. This could have been somebody that struggled with pregnancy, or whatever, or they were preparing for this child, and you took that away from that family just like that. They might have been in the middle of a conversation talking about something. Just imagine you talking with your partner. Oh yeah, I can't wait to see our baby. Or even arguing in the car with your partner. Y'all arguing, or whatever y'all talking about, and then bam, just like that.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, because that's what I was saying. Like, I couldn't imagine just riding down the street and that happening. Like, wow.
Yeah.
So listen.
There's no way they saw it.
So people are saying, bury her in prison. Give her a death. She's facing 90 years, right? But this is my take on that. And people get mad with me because they call me like a black apologist.
All right,
but the thing how I look at shit, I think that the laws of people, it's not fair. Like, the way we are sentenced compared to other races of people is wrong.
Yeah.
So my big thing is, I'm going to always give black people the benefit of the doubt, because I see other races of people doing it. And like what I just said in my video, I say, yo, we prosecute our own way before they get to the court system. So it make the court system job easy.
That's true.
You feel me? Like, if we already saying lock them up, throw away the key. Yeah. It's not going to be no problem when that judge get in front of them and then railroad them, because a lot of times people's getting over sentenced. Now, when I looked over this information and was doing my research, I'm saying Caucasian people, 4 months, 4 years, 5 years. I'm talking about murdered 2-3 people, car accident, driving drunk, off meth, high. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying that those sentences was right, but those sentences happened. You feel me?
Happened.
So when you factor in that this woman had a mental illness, you know how America is treating mental illness when it comes to a certain group of people. We didn't see people do some wild shit and get off of mental illness. Yeah. This lady has 13 run-ins. Like, people know what's going on with her. Dang. So can we really send her to prison for 90 years?
Send her to a mental institution.
I can agree with that.
I don't even think prison would even be feasible at this point. What's prison gonna do for somebody like that? No, prison ain't gonna do nothing for him. The point of prison is rehabilitation. That's the purpose of prison. Realistically, it's to kill that resuscitation, get that rehabilitation, send them out into the free world. That's what the purpose is, per se. Obviously, the last, umpteen decades, that ain't been happening, because that resuscitation rate, you got people coming right back on in rotation in the system. But when people have mental illnesses, that's the biggest factor of the prison population.
Yeah. And
he's not going to get no type of rehabilitation in prison.
But that population is us, because they look out for them. Yeah. You feel me? And that's all I be trying to get our people to understand. Like, yo, we got to stick together, yo, because, yo, they sending us to prison daily. Like, it's something that happened in my city. Dude went crazy, just started. I'm from Baltimore, if you ain't know. Dude went crazy, just started shooting people all over the city, right? Mm-hmm. Days before he started that or did that, his family said he was hearing voices. He took him to hospitals. The police know about it.
I think I heard about that.
Mm-hmm. You know, they still gave this boy life in prison. They still gave him life in prison, man. So it's like, damn, yo, like, when are we gonna get a break? When are they gonna look at us the same way that they look at their children and make these decisions? Like, I just don't think that's fair, man. Now,
that's the reason why.
It's like, because first I was saying if she did it intentionally, she need to go. But can a person with that's gone mentally even make an intentional decision like that?
Yeah. So one of my degrees is in psychology. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really big on the psyche. I'm really big on that because that is a huge factor for a lot of decisions that people make. Okay. And you have to think about intent when somebody commits a crime. I have psychology and criminal justice are my two bachelors. Okay. One of the biggest things that I learned about with that law, the intention. Was her intention was she trying to kill herself? What was she trying to do? Was she having a mental breakdown that she was trying to commit suicide?
I think
in the midst of her trying to commit suicide, she killed other people. What was her intention? Was this woman being negligent and saying screw anybody that that's what it could come off as. A lot of people.
Oh, so look, let me ask you this real quick before you go on. Yeah. Can you say somebody with mental illness is negligent?
That's a very good question. So, is it controlled? A person that has a mental illness and knows that they are mentally ill, because sometimes it's like, I know I got bipolar. I was diagnosed with it. Like, I know, but I'm not going to take my medicine. Yes, that is negligent.
Okay.
That is negligent. Gotcha. Think about it. You know you have an illness, or a mother that has postpartum depression but refuses to take medication or refuses to see somebody, but she knows something's not right. That is negligent. That absolutely is, because you know something's not right. And even though you know it's not right, or you know you're not yourself, you're fully aware that you're not yourself. You're still out driving, you're still out, doing your normal nurse duties and everything, like everything's okay. No.
So this is the thing, right? I was critical of, like I said, she done been to the hospital 13 times. They knew who this woman was. Mm-hmm. I was critical of the doctors or whoever dealt with her. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Whoever diagnosed her, whoever seen her. Mm-hmm. I was critical of them because it's like, y'all knew this woman had a problem. Mm-hmm. Why is she driving? Right. Why? How is she a nurse? She deals with medication. So it's like, to me,
back to that negligence.
Yeah, it's like to me, they're just as reliable as she is. And I could be reaching, but that's how I look at it.
Okay, so listen to this. Okay. So I'm trying to, now that you're saying it all like this. Okay, say for example, a person has seizures, epilepsy or whatever. And it's controlled. They take their medication. And they go, and get their driver's license. And it's like, okay, you get a license because, it's documented that you have control. You take your medication for your seizures, whatever the case is. Or they don't even report that they're on medication, because some people that I know personally have seizures and they ain't never been seen for them, but they know that they have them. Mm-hmm. They know they have them. So say, for example, a person has their license, they get behind the wheel, they have a seizure, get into a car accident, kill some people. They survive. Who's at fault? I had a seizure. I was sick. Who's at fault? Because somebody got to take responsibility. Somebody gonna get sued. They're gonna go after somebody. That's the first thing, just like what you just said. Why would you have a license if you have seizures?
Yeah.
Once again, negligence. That person was negligent. You know you have seizures. You know you shouldn't be driving, or your seizures should be controlled. So you are held responsible. So if she knows she has, and the same thing even with her working in the field of nursing. Say, for example, if something happened on the job, they know that this person has had mental health issues, and something happens on the job and she ends up, killing a patient, whatever. The job is responsible. Y'all knew these things about her. Y'all knew this. So at this point, I think it's reasonable if they sue, wherever she got her, I don't know if her license is from Texas or wherever it's from. I think somebody needs to be held responsible in that factor. I think in the factor of
I like that.
With even with her profession in general, because now that it's out that she had all these issues, something could have happened within the job too that they don't know about, that could have been affected because of her mental health. Now that goes back to her credibility as a nurse. A bunch of patients could even look back and sue, and patients' families, if anything seems sketchy or off. There's so many factors that come into play now. It's like, why was this not known that she had these things going on? There are plenty of people that have mental illnesses that drive still. That's where those road rage incidents come in. People dying, getting killed because you got bipolar. you're bipolar, or you're suffering with depression, and somebody honked at you and you had a bad day and you're going off and you get out and you kill somebody, do they deserve not to have a license too?
Yeah,
This is bigger. This is
tough.
bigger. You know, now this needs to be something that's brought up to the surface about a whole bunch of stuff, because if she's going down for that, then there's plenty other people that need to be going down for plenty other things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that she shouldn't be held responsible, because she was negligent. She absolutely was. That was very irresponsible of her. Whatever she had going on, she had no business getting behind that wheel. Mm-hmm. If she knew she was having,
she was a traveling nurse. Like, how the fuck is she a traveling nurse?
You see what I'm saying? Anything could have been going on with this woman. So that's my whole thing about it. It's like that hurts me.
So do you think she deserved?
This was so avoidable.
They gave her. You're right. They gave her a no bail.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she deserved a no bail?
I think she does. You got to keep in mind, she took lives. She swept out a family. And it was avoidable. That's where the problem comes in. Was this avoidable? Was there something that could have went differently to make these results turn out differently and avoid this from happening? And yes, there were a lot of things that could have went differently.
It was a million red flags.
Yeah. And most of the time when you have mental health issues, that you have the resources necessary. So when you have moments or breakdowns or whatever, there are plenty of resources for you to reach out to. And if she chose the pathway of, oh, I'm mad or I'm going through this, I'm taking a drive instead of sitting my butt down and calling my therapist, you made a choice, baby. And your choice led to this. So she has to be held responsible. The no bail thing is important because the fact of she don't need to be out driving, period. Maybe she can be, and if they didn't do no bail, then she needs to be on house arrest until,
that's what I think.
Maybe,
that's what I think.
You know, with that's a possibility. But if they're going to do no bail, in the meantime, she needs to seek, because at the end of the day, she was having some type of mental crisis. So she still needs to seek medical treatment regardless. So either way, she needs to be put in something at this time, because she was suffering from a mental crisis. And now I'm sure it's even worse. Whatever she was going through mentally, it don't even compare to the fact of now she took these lives. Now that her life is over, basically, y'all thought she was bad off then. She's probably really bad off right now. She might be ready to kill herself or something. You know?
Yeah.
If she wasn't before.
So they probably got in the butt naked room some motherfucking way.
Right. But for real, because at this point we have to take those proper precautions as a society. You know, they have a due diligence to this woman, no matter who she killed. Y'all have a responsibility to this woman to make sure she seeks the proper medical attention. And at this point, that's all they can do. She needs to seek the proper medical attention mentally, psych ward, whatever. They need to get her there.
All right. Jail time. How much? How many years? She facing 90.
You can't, let me tell you something too. You can't, it's really hard. I don't want to say can't. It's really hard to give somebody jail time when they suffer with a mental illness. That's why they talk about the mental capacity to withstand a trial. Mm-hmm. This woman, there's no way she has a mental capacity to withstand a trial.
No, because what she did was wow. Like, extremely wow.
Yeah, there's no way she has a mental capacity to withstand this trial. So either way it goes, most likely either this woman ain't going to get sentenced for a while, or she's going to be, whatever her sentencing is going to be to a mental health facility in the meantime, until she's capable to withstand a trial. Now, when the time does come for her to withstand a trial, I do believe, I wouldn't say, I'm more of a Malcolm X, not a Dr. King. So, you know,
I am too.
You took some lives, baby. So, you know, life sentences are usually, I think, 25 years or something like that. So maybe, you know, several life sentences, or
I think life nowadays is your whole life.
It is, okay, yeah. So if they give her a full-term life sentence with a possibility of parole, I mean, she might have some hope, but that's a tough.
I say 30 years, man. 30 years. Put it in an institution that's focused around medical. Like in Maryland, we got some shit called Patuxent. You feel me? Put in something like that. Try to rehabilitate her. Yo, but don't put it in a real prison, yo, because she don't got it all, yo. And that's what happens all too often with our people, yo. They put their people in the institutions and they put our people in prison. Dude, treat us the same way, man.
Yeah, that's the part. That's the part for me. That's where I come in with my whole, my understanding with the mental health. If they're going to take a route as such, most definitely she deserves to be put somewhere to get that mental rehabilitation, because she's not going to be the same anyways. Even if y'all give her 30 years, she come out and be free, she's not going to be the same. And then not only that, but society still remembers people like that.
Yeah.
Society remembers people like that.
Uh-huh.
So society ain't going to treat her right. So I feel like either way it goes, if they're going to take that route with her, it needs to be a mental health facility for sure. And if you're going to give her something that has a term, like 30 years, 20 years, if it has actual term to it, she definitely needs to be in a mental health facility to prepare her for the free world. To prepare her for the free world, because giving her life, that's going to give her, she has to live with the fact that she did that. It's like, dang, I wasn't in my right state of mind. I got to live with this. Like those mothers that have postpartum depression that kill their kids. I was just talking with somebody about that. My mom had a mental breakdown. Everybody knew she was struggling with postpartum. Everybody around her, the baby's father, everybody knew that she was struggling with this, and she did not seek the help. She was negligent to seeking the help. She even knew she needed the help. And she ended up killing her kids. She killed her kids. She went on live, said what she said, and then she killed her kids. So in a situation like that,
I seen that.
Yeah, she ain't never gonna be the same. You can give her however long, because realistically, she ain't never gonna be the same. And society ain't never gonna do it right.
Then later on that day, yesterday in Oklahoma, a guy killed his 3 kids and then got on live. Man, we living in a fucked up world, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about this shit, man. I just hope that we figure this shit out, man, especially black people. Like I said, I do not like the fact that we crucify our own, y'all. I hate that shit. Like, my thing is, I'm going to ride what is right or wrong, because that's what I see other groups of people doing. And I believe that until if we don't adapt that mentality, we ain't never going to change, man. I think that's the road to recovery, man.
We ain't.
I mean, that's not the only road. I just think that's something that needs to be implemented.
You're right. My thing is too, like, I know, she did what she did. That was absolutely wrong. I mean, it was wrong. You shouldn't have ever got behind that wheel. Like, I just hate that happened to her. And I hate that those families was lost. Like, you wiped out somebody's whole family. Like, these were young folks too. The man was only 34, a security guard or something like that. Like, come on. All because you was being irresponsible and negligent. And when I say irresponsible, I'm not saying, driving drunk. You were irresponsible to your health, your mental health. She might have been this might have been something that was going on for days, because sometimes when they have those mental health crises, sometimes it's like 3-4 days in a row. Sometimes people suffer a week in a row. Sometimes it's a long period of time. So it's like, and then not only that, you got to think about the people around her. Where was your friends? Where were your people? So we don't take mental health seriously. Black folks don't. Our kind, we don't.
And I'm gonna tell you another thing that we don't do. We don't like to intervene.
That's it.
Too many people in our community got that. I mean, it ain't got nothing to do with me. So we're watching motherfucker crash and burn from a distance, and know they gonna crash and burn, and they won't say nothing.
That's it. That was the other thing I thought about. I thought about all of those factors whenever I first saw that. I'm like, where was her family? Who did she talk to? Who did she not talk to? Did she really have a boyfriend? Like, I'm thinking about everything, like, what could have been done to help this girl? Like, that's my first thought. I know these lives were lost. Those are absolutely important. She does deserve some form of suffering for losing those, for taking away those families, for hurting those people. She does. Yeah. But I want to look at it as a whole. Now, where was her help? If this woman got mental health issues, where was her help? Where was her help? Where did we fail? We failed overall as a society with that one. We failed. We failed. If this person had mental health issues, y'all gave her license, y'all gave her this job, and didn't give her the proper resources, or maybe she had all of these things, and she just, was thrown off. Who knows? Yeah, she might have just been, like I said in the beginning, negligent, and that's just what comes with it. But it's a sad situation. I want to keep up with it, and maybe we'll come back to it, once everything gets more cleared. But it's a sad situation, and I think, honestly, even though it's popular right now, I think eventually it might die off a little bit, just because the fact of her mental health issues. And the system is going to get challenged if they say she's not mentally capable to withstand trial. So she has to be put in a facility. People are going to challenge that. They're going to be like, "What? She took lives away," and that's going to become a challenge. You know that people ain't going to be happy about that. So it's going to put pressure on the system to force this woman to be sentenced, even though she is not mentally capable to be sentenced.
So hopefully, if that is the case, it dies down, and then they're able to do it like on a slide. You feel me?
The right way. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, the right way.
Often that has happened a lot of times, like even important stories that maybe even you remember and be like, man, whatever happened with that? They let it die down a little bit and they switch it up because of that pressure.
Oh, the one thing about me, I know how the system go, like to a T. I can be a criminal justice lawyer. Straight up. Hey, look, I appreciate your time, man. This is a great conversation, man. I appreciate anybody that tuned in. We're going to do this again, man.
Most definitely. Anytime you need me, if any of your followers, they want to hit me up, get to me, man, I'm here to spit the real, always.
Let them know where to find you at.
Absolutely. Y'all can find me on Instagram at XTINAABAYBEH, Xtina Baby. You can find me on there. Y'all can find me on Facebook. I'm sure he'll tag me in the post. So any questions y'all have, anything y'all want to discuss, and y'all want to be a devil's advocate and say I was wrong, I don't care. I'm open-minded, open-hearted. So I don't take offense to nothing. I'm here to hear everything. That's how I learn, So spit it to me, y'all. Thank y'all for y'all time, and thank you so much for having me.
Hey, straight up, man. Catch you on the next one.
All right. Yeah, have a good one, baby.
Episode 24 in the books, baby. We out.
Peace.